The other thing that's important to keep in mind in this discussion is that this is a negotiation in many cases, because us as the GRC practitioners, we might look at the frameworks and look at how we think things should be implemented. But when we present it to another team, they're often going to kick back, and they should. But they shouldn't just look at what you sent them and say, "Oh, great, that's what we're doing," because you're almost never going to be 100% right. And then when they object, then you could either decide that something doesn't need to be done, or you could say, yes, it does need to be done. Oh, you don't want to do it that way, or we can't do it that way. Well, let's have a compensating control. Let's do it this way. Or maybe we shouldn't collect that data for a while because we're not prepared to protect it properly.
Just as an add-on to that, I think as risk practitioners, right, our job is not to necessarily make sure everything gets done just right. We wish it would. That's why we're in this business, right? But our job is to make clear the risk decision to the stakeholders so that they can make an informed decision about whether to accept or mitigate that risk, right? And then there's transfer and avoid, of course, but just they have to make the risk decision. They have to own the risk of that decision. Our job is to make it clear for them, right? And then at the end of the day, we do have to be okay with the business may say, well, we're just going to roll the dice and take our chances because we think it's going to be all right. And then we have to say, okay, I've done my job in showing you what needs to happen. And you've said we're going to take the risk of not doing that. And we'll be here to pick up the pieces if and when it blows up in your face, right?
That's really good insight. Just 3 days ago, one of my clients, they showed me this new application they had, and the CEO, he had his set security controls correct, but I noticed the number 2 in the company didn't. So I sent her a text and I said, hey, can you at least turn on 2-factor authentication? That would really help. And she said, Mike, do I have to? I'm like, you should, and it's in the policy. And she goes, oh, that's fine. I'll do it.